I don't know if y'all are watching this fight, man, but hello? What's going on? Why am I live? Anthony Joshua is beating the shit out of Alexander Usyk. Sky Sports needs to fire all their commentators because they garbage. They need to fire every single one of them. AJ is winning the fight, and he's actually pressing Usyk with a body tag. And like I said, AJ would make him look very, very basic. He fought a bigger version of him, which was Vladimir Klitschko. He fought him and beat him and knocked him out. And now Usyk has to deal with these body shots. And AJ is on pace to stop him. He's throwing short shots and hitting him to the body. Perfect. This is beautiful boxing. This is beautiful boxing at its best right here. He's putting the pressure on him. AJ's corner should tell him to stay out the center of the ring because it's still wet and slippery there. But he's putting smart pressure. I don't know if you noticed the adjustments he made. He's down low. He's not up high. And Alexander Usyk is just going around the ring, not throwing anything. He's wearing those body shots. He's trying to survive and go the distance and land a big shot. But AJ should keep fighting. There you go. Fight me inside. Throw that shot. Look, AJ smiled. He hurt him. AJ smiled because he hurt him. He's beating the shit out of Alexander Usyk. He's beating the shit out of him. And I don't want no excuses after this fight is over about the war played a part in this. Alexander Usyk is not mentally right because of the war. I don't want to hear none of that shit because the stage was set. Y'all said this man was the boogeyman. He's scary. He's the Joker, et cetera, et cetera. AJ's beating the shit out of him, and he's relaxed. And he spent a lot of energy in the first fight being up high and reacting to the feints. Now he doesn't react to the feints so much. He stays calm, composed, and poised. But his trainer should tell him, keep the fight out of the center of the ring. You can't win the fight in the center of the ring. You could, but you can't because it's slippery. Every time AJ plants his feet in the center of the ring, he slips. So his trainer should tell him, push him to the ropes. Look at Alexander Usyk try to pull his mouthpiece out, wipe his nose. Stuff I gave you in the breakdown that I told you he would do when he was losing the fight to try to stall for time. But he's tired and fatigued. AJ's focused. He just has to continue to do what he's doing. Stay relaxed. Stay poised. There's only 9 more minutes and he'll be the champ of the world again. Don't reach with that hand. See, that's a flaw that AJ has. He's reverting back to what he did in the first fight where he's reaching with that lead hand. He has to keep that lead hand at home, stay down, stay composed, block the shots with the gloves. AJ wants to stop him. He's coming out this round fiery. He wants to stop him. He's spending a lot of energy trying to stop him. He shouldn't go for the stoppage. He should continue to do what he was doing before, which is smart pressure. Keep inching towards him. Body shot every now and then. Usyk is not effective at the center of the ring either because it's slippery. I hope AJ, get out the center of the ring. You better get out the center of the ring. It's slippery over there, brother. I can't believe his corner hadn't picked up on that yet. Stay out of the center of the ring. It's dangerous right there. But he's fatigued too. He's fatigued. He's taking this round off, but he should stay out the center of the ring. Rest close. Usyk doesn't like to fight close. He'll throw a couple shots, but he won't have a continuous attack. Right there. That's where you need to rest at. You see, look, 1 shot, 2 shots, then he backs up, then he moves his head. That's where you need to rest at. Ooh, good right hook. He hurt him. Let's go, AJ. Look, and what did Usyk do to what I gave you in the breakdown? Complain to the ref that it was low. He complained to the ref that it's low. Let's go, AJ. The fight is playing out exactly like I thought it would. Uppercut to the body, still is there. Still is there. Stay low. Stay low. Don't be up high where he can catch you over the top. Stay low, rest in the inside, like exactly what you're doing. Pressure. That's pressuring him. Look at Usyk. Hands down, mouth open. He caught him with a good uppercut just now and then, and a good uppercut in the left foot. Usyk did. AJ has to stay. He has to be composed. Wrap him up. Tie him up, AJ. Block the shots. There you go. Stay calm. AJ's fatigued. He spent a lot of energy trying to tire him out. He better get out that spot. That's where it's slippery at in the center of the ring. And he can't rest there. That's not a good spot to rest where you can't plant your feet and absorb the shots. AJ went back to the ropes. He's fatigued. He spent a lot of energy trying to get him out. He spent a lot of energy trying to get Usyk out. But it's okay because those body shots that he invested in the earlier rounds is weighing on Usyk. And I knew that if he invested early in the body, it would make the fight easier down the stretch. And that's what it's doing. Usyk's not throwing the shots that are there. He's not letting his hands go. AJ blocked every single one of those shots, and the fans got all excited. See, he's blocking the punches. He's not like in the first fight. He's not up high. He's countering the shots. He's doing a good job. If AJ continues his pace for the rest of the fight, he'll win this fight easy, very easy. Shit, it's only what round we in? 11th. We only got 2 more rounds anyway. This fight is AJ's. He got a little fatigued. He tried to finish Usyk, and he came in top heavy leaning, and he got caught with a shot off balance. I don't know if any of y'all ever boxed before, but when you get caught with a shot and you're off balance, it tends to have more of an effect. It has more of an effect. But I mean, even in that round where AJ lost the latter part of the fight, but he started off pretty fast. Matter of fact, it looked like for a minute he was going to stop Usyk. He caught him with a good shot, but I think he might have shot his load that round. But hopefully he gets his second win, because I think AJ is going to get back the belts. Like I said in my prediction video, I said he don't like body shots. I said when he gets in a hit in the body, he complains to the ref. He's doing everything I said, and the fight is playing out exactly as I expected, and I told you in the breakdown. But AJ's fatigued, though. He is fatigued, but he only got a little bit to go. All he has to do is stay on his feet, continue to stay poised, stay low, and back Usyk up. And if you're going to rest inside, not at the mid-range where Usyk is effective and does all his work. Rest inside where he doesn't like to be, right there. See, he goes back to the ropes anytime AJ gets inside. That's not his desired, preferred distance to fight at. He doesn't like this range right here. This is where AJ can rest at, right here. He can rest right here. He can block the shots with his gloves like he's doing. This is perfect right here. He do this, he could continue to win. He could come alive in the second part of the round, the later part of the round, the minutes in the round, and steal the round with the body shots just like that. He need to stop throwing his right hand. He leaves his right hand out there too long and he gets countered. He need to just go strictly to the body. This is where effective corners come into play, because they'll tell you stuff like that. Like, you keep getting countered when you throw the right hand. Just throw your inside shots. But AJ's talking to him right now. He's telling him, come on. He can't do stuff like that. He has to stay focused. I don't know if you guys noticed, but in between the rounds, AJ was looking very focused. He was focused on his opponent. Hurt him to the body. And then AJ clinched him. Oh, man. Come on, AJ. He fighting like a big man, though. Everybody was complaining about him not fighting like a big man, and he's obliging to everybody's wishes. He's doing exactly what he said he was going to do, or what we said he needed to do, and he's doing it. He just hit him with an uppercut to the body, but AJ's batshit tired. I'm not even going to lie to you. He got to stop throwing his punches from too far away. You got to come forward intelligently, block the shots, and then when you get close, let your shots go. Don't let them go from too far away. Yeah, AJ's tired. I think it's more of a mental thing, because AJ's always in shape, tip-top condition at all times. It's more mental fatigue than anything. You know, the first fight, this is where he lost the rounds. This is where he lost the fight. It almost got stopped in the last 2 rounds. So I think it's more mental than physical, because I think AJ's in good condition. He actually looks smaller and slimmer for this fight. His body looks the best I've ever seen in his whole career, to be honest with you. See, he just blocking the shots. He's doing good. Like I said, he needs to come closer, take another step closer to Usyk. Stop throwing your punches from too far away, because Usyk doesn't even have a lot of snap on his punches because of those body shots. The body shots made the fight easier. Usyk's more worried about his body shots than he's worried about his head shots. Look, you see that deep breath he just took? Usyk is fatigued, man. He is very tired. He's very fatigued. AJ can't see. He's throwing his right hand. He's just falling forward because both of them are fatigued. And this is what you got to do when you fight a shorter man. He has the edge in the stamina department, right? So how you make the fight easier? You invest in the body in the early rounds. That way, when you both fatigued, y'all at the same level in the later part of the stretch of the fight. Usyk got his eyes closing. Look like he's praying. Yeah, Usyk is praying. What happened to this monster that Usyk was? Remember, everybody said he was so unbeatable. He was so this. He was so that. That man is a man. And the same people would tell you there's weight classes in boxing for a reason. And then when Anthony Joshua, the bigger man, they'll say he's gonna get stopped by Usyk. I mean, I just don't. I didn't see it then, and I didn't feel like he could stop AJ in the first fight. AJ was batshit tired. I don't think he'll be able to stop him in this fight. But AJ's doing exactly what the fight is played out exactly as I said it was gonna play out. Even Usyk complaining to the referee. The championship round. It's the last round, and AJ's gonna be 3-time champion of the world. And we're gonna hear what all these people that would say AJ was a bum and he was overrated. Those people are so stupid. If AJ's a bum and Usyk beat him, then technically Usyk is not a real champion because he's only beat bums his entire career. Those people before AJ were bums. So if AJ's a bum also, he ain't fought nobody. There you go, AJ. Grabbing pop shot him. Get your shots off and clinch. He's already fatigued. Put that big body on him. There you go. Lean on him like that. There you go. There you go. Now hit him with the body. There you go. Then hit him with the body shot. Send him with a present to the ropes. Good. Oh, good right hand, AJ. That's true. When AJ gets close before he lets his shots go, his shots snap Usyk's heads back. When he lets his shots go from too far away, he leaves too many counterpunch opportunities. But yeah, AJ's doing good. He should continue to pop shot him. Throw your right hand and then come in and clinch him. Right there, that distance right there, he should clinch him. Put all his weight on him. He should put all his weight on him. Usyk is just as tired as you, AJ. He just has mental strength, which is what I said coming into the fight. AJ just hurt him with a left foot pulling out, pivoting on the ropes. He's vulnerable for that shot when he's on the ropes. I didn't put it in my breakdown, but he is. Usyk on the ropes. The other heavyweight he fought, I can't think of it. Look, AJ fell all over him. There you go. Make him hold your weight. Look, he complaining and don't even know what he's complaining about. Usyk just complained like it was a body shot, but AJ didn't even throw a punch because he's just as tired. He's looking for a break just like AJ looking for a break. This is what championship fighting is about. This is who wants it more. Who wants it more? Whose fundamentals are better down the stretch? You know what I mean? Who's gonna be tired and still not succumb to their fatigue? Because AJ has him on the ropes. It's a minute left, and he's bending all his weight on him. That's what he needs to do right there. Don't let him up. Make the referee break it and pull him up. There you go. Perfect. You're fighting a perfect fight. He's tired as shit, but he's fighting a perfect fight. His corner should be yelling out on the side of the ring how much time they have left. That's what a good corner would do. I don't hear him. They might be doing it, but I don't hear him. But this is AJ's going to be a 3-time champion of the world. Usyk coming in had to knock him out. I know y'all seen those 2 fights earlier. Both of those were robberies, but he actually earned this win. He did enough. Look at Usyk, that deep breath. Deep breath. Usyk's going to get his first loss of his career. I heard somebody say that Usyk was going to make an adjustment. Usyk hasn't made it. He's been fighting this way since the amateurs. The exact same way. So if you watch them in the amateurs, this is nothing. Look at AJ just muscling him to the corner. That's what you do. That's what you do with the small man. You show him he's small. He don't belong in the ring with you. There you go. Perfect. AJ's 3-time champion of the world. And I don't want to hear none of this bullshit from nobody because the stage was shut. Y'all said Usyk was a monster. Y'all said all these things about Usyk. Look, Usyk bend his knees. Usyk, you lost that fight, brother. Maybe you're happy you made it out with your life. I don't know. Oh, they're praying. What? Is Usyk Islamic? I've never seen that before. Maybe he was doing it for his country because they are at war, but AJ's gonna win this fight. Watch what I tell you. Yeah, deeply goated. He looked very good. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. Invest into the body early, make the fight easier going down the stretch. And that's what happened. You got a little man in there. You know he has the stamina advantage on you. How do you take away? Body shots, because they don't go anywhere. You can recover from a headshot. Can't shake them body shots off. Usyk gonna go home and feel them body shots. They're gonna last for weeks at a time. Them headshots, you can shake them off more easy, but not them body shots. Usyk's body is too little. He don't belong in the ring with a full-fledged heavyweight. And that's what I said in the first breakdown that I gave in part 1, and AJ went out in the second one and played out exactly how I said the fight was gonna go, to the T, to the point of him even muscling him in the inside and landing the right uppercut to the body. And it played out exactly like I said it was gonna play out. Even Usyk going to AJ's body, I knew that's the only adjustment he could make in the fight was to go to AJ's body. And that's the only adjustment he made. He fought exactly the same way he's been fighting his entire life. And I knew that that would happen. But yeah, those other two fights were robberies, and Usyk had to come in and get a knockout to beat AJ. But AJ actually won. He actually earned this decision that he's about to get. But yeah, Usyk had to knock him out coming in, man. The fix I think was in. If you go and look at those other two fights, I think Zhang beat his guy, and I think Badu Jack lost his fight. But the judges gave the fight to them, so I don't see this fight going any different. Usyk was complaining a lot. Yep, he couldn't hide the hurt. Did you see him wiping his nose, deeply goated? He did everything, every cue I said he was going to do, he did it. He wiped his nose when he was hurt, blew his nose, and then he complained to the ref. It was one part, I think it was in the 11th or 12th round, where AJ just fell all over him. And Usyk looked to the referee and complained to a low blow, and AJ didn't even throw a shot. Didn't even throw a shot. He complained about a low blow. AJ won this fight, and the new three-time heavyweight champion of the world. And all the people who said he shouldn't fight him, Usyk has his number, said the same thing with Andy Ruiz. What asterisk is y'all going to put by AJ's name now? I'm just curious, because y'all don't like him, clearly. AJ's going to win. That's why he's showing so much good sportsmanship. He knows he got this fight. This fight is in the bag. Here you go. They about to say, and the new. AJ, I don't know if y'all noticed this. AJ even took him to the same place he beat Andy Ruiz at with this exact same ref that he had in the first fight. Uh-oh. There's a split decision. Split decision? What fight were y'all watching? Anthony Joshua. Are you serious? Wow. They gave it to him because of the war, man. This was a participation trophy. He lost this fucking fight. I can't believe this shit, man. They robbed the golden child. What the hell? Wow. I could not believe this shit. AJ did exactly what he was supposed to do. Won the fight. Sky Sports need to fire their fucking announcers. They're horrible. They even said Usyk was up on the fight. What fight were y'all watching? Anthony Joshua won this fight. That's crazy. This was a robbery. And the sad part about it is, I think it was because of the war. What other reason? Usyk lost his fight, man. The referee broke the fight because of a low blow. But I got a question for anybody watching this. Show me Usyk's belly button. How the hell could you give a low blow and the guy has his trunks high over his belly button? That wasn't a fucking low blow. But this is crazy, man. I cannot believe this. But I should have known something was fishy whenever they gave the rights to Usyk to stream the fight in this country. Maybe they didn't want to not make Usyk lose during wartime, but Usyk lost his fight. He got a participation trophy today, and this is crazy, man. Like, I don't even want to watch the rest of the fights that's coming on. This is horrible, 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 horrible. This is why I used to always watch Friday night fights and wonder why Teddy Atlas goes off so much, man. This is why. This is why. AJ is mad as shit, and he has every right to be. I think he just threw the belts. I think Usyk gave him the belts, and he just threw them. He should have threw them fucking belts. He won this fight. Look, he's mad as shit. Yeah, AJ's mad. Yeah, he's over there talking shit in the ring. He's over there talking shit. I mean, you can't blame him, man. They just robbed him from glory tonight. He won this fucking fight. He has every right in the world to be mad. He was respectful because he thought he won. But you won this fight. You won this fight. You did everything they said you shouldn't do. Yeah, deeply goat. I don't know what the fight they was watching, but Anthony Joshua was going crazy in there, man. No, I stick with your first mind, Anthony Joshua. Don't go back to the ring and suck it up and try to be a good sportsman. They robbed you. Simple as that. You was robbed tonight. Nobody took them punches in that ring but you and Usyk. You deserve every right to act how you act. You train and work so hard for this. Yeah, don't go back to being a gentleman. Stick with he threw them fucking belts. Damn, AJ did like, "Are you not entertained?" type of shit. He grabbed those belts and started talking shit, and then cussed them out, and then threw the belts. That's right. Fuck them belts. Politics won tonight. Yeah, yeah. Don't try to. Yeah, Usyk's trying to talk AJ into not doing what he's doing. Fuck that, AJ. Be yourself, man. Be yourself. They robbed you. They robbed you. You was robbed tonight. You ain't got to do that. You ain't got to do that. I wouldn't give Usyk no credit, man. I beat his ass tonight, is what I would say. AJ talking. Nah, you did. Man, don't switch it up, AJ. Nah, AJ. Nah. We're not gonna do that. You mad because you won the fight. AJ letting it all out. He hear the comments. He's reading the comments. Man, don't do this shit. This is embarrassing, AJ. Lead the ring, man. Fuck all that sportsmanship. They're gonna judge you anyway. That's the only reason he won the war. Alexander Usyk is looking like he thinks AJ's gonna say something bad about his country. The country. That's the thing. Politics shouldn't have anything to do with this fight. Usyk lost his fight tonight. Nah, I don't like this shit. Sportsmanship, nah. Sportsmanship my ass. He has every right to be mad. They robbed him. They robbed him. How many people rematch the guy that they lose with and come in and put on a everybody said he shouldn't come in and try to outbox Usyk. What did he do? He came in and outboxed him and won the fight. And through body work, he did exactly what everybody said he needs to do to win the fight. Everybody said AJ was going to get stopped. He has every reason to be mad tonight. Usyk know he didn't win that fight. I mean, he had Usyk is Usyk. He had a championship heart. He came back and threw flurries at times and didn't succumb to the body shots AJ was throwing. But at the same time, I mean, no, he lost his fight. This was a political statement. They didn't want the Ukrainians to see Usyk lose because they're all watching this fight right now. I don't like that AJ went back to the ring and showed sportsmanship. How does AJ come back from this? I don't. He won the fight. He won the fight. I don't. What is it to come back from? I got in on six. No, yeah. AJ won this fucking fight, bro. They gave it to Usyk, but AJ won this fucking fight. He won this fight. I didn't do it. I didn't do the scoring round for round, but AJ won this fight. Like ring generalship. I don't think referees understand that shit. But look where the fight ended up at the most. Usyk was on the ropes fighting. You know why he was on the ropes? Because AJ put him there. That's called ring generalship. Who was making who fight whose fight? The whole fight was AJ's advantage. AJ's uh attributes that he was trying to employ. AJ won that fight. I want to see Usyk get fed to fear Wilder. Yeah, I think Wilder will knock Usyk out. I think Usyk will be in front of him doing all that head movement and winning the whole fight like Luis Ortiz, and then bam, because Wilder's best punch is the southpaw weakness, the right hand. Usyk doesn't look like he won. Does this look like the same Usyk from the first fight? And I don't want to hear no war excuse. Does this look like the same Usyk? Because it don't to me. It don't. This does not look like Usyk to me that believed that he won. This is horrible though. Horrible. I cannot believe this shit. Deeply, I'm gonna post the chat, man. You want to pull up and tell me your thoughts? Thank you so much. That shit was horrible, man. Horrible. It was 3 or 4 times AJ looked like he was gonna stop Usyk. How many times did it look like Usyk was gonna stop AJ? That just right there showed the pace of the flow of the fight. That shit was horrible. Horrible, man. I cannot believe that shit. And you know what's gonna happen? These YouTubers going they man, they gonna be happy. They don't like AJ and they love Usyk. Usyk was the baddest man of all time. He looked pretty human tonight to me. Those body shots made him look real human. Those looks that he give and showing up to the press conference wearing the Joker suit. Usyk has mastered the art of skullduggery. He knows how to trick people. He knows how to make people believe what he wants them to believe. Did y'all notice when he released those pictures from camp of him looking bigger? You remember that? And then he showed up wearing the exact same thing from the first fight. Yeah, Usyk, you got your ass beat tonight. AJ ain't got nothing to hang his hat on. He won this fight. He won this fight. And whichever judge, I can't even believe it was a split decision. This fight wasn't that close to me. I felt like the Zane fight was closer than that to me. This fight was not close at all. And I felt like, well, I don't feel like, I know AJ was fucking robbed tonight. They hope this is how you know there was a political fight. This is already history. Yeah, so in a post-fight interview, that what's up, bro?
Yo, it was good. It was good.
Bro,
With
what
it.
the fuck is going on, bro?
That shit was crazy. This whole card was crazy, really. All robberies. All robberies.
Oh, bro. Oh, bro. Bro, I don't know if you heard that crazy rumor before this fight that everybody was saying that the fight was gonna be canceled. The fight was gonna be canceled because there was a bombing in Saudi Arabia. Did you hear that rumor?
Yeah, I heard about that. This fight was super political. That's why I think, like I agree with you. That's why I think Usyk won, because the wars in Ukraine
Very
and all
political,
that.
bro. Yep. That's all. That's the only reason he got the decision. This was a participation trophy type of shit. They gave him the fight because they felt they know that Usyk streaming the fight live with to his country for free, and they're all watching. They didn't want Usyk to lose the fight in front of him because I don't know how this fight wasn't even that close to me, to be all the way honest with you. If the first fight with AJ versus him wasn't close, this fight was the opposite. They switched roles.
AJ was controlling the whole pace of the fight. AJ was bullying this dude around, being very physical. Tat hurt him to the body throughout, like from early on inside the fight. I seen Usyk. The first time I seen Usyk get hurt, he did that nose thing like he had pointed out, and then eventually it went all the way down and complaining to the ref. Then it got to a point where he couldn't even hide it, and he almost got knocked out multiple times throughout the fight.
Bro, I'm gonna find out who these judges is. I'm pulling up to their house, bro. I had money on the line tonight, bro. I had money on the line tonight, bro. I had Zane for the
No.
for the decision. I thought he was gonna win a decision. I put him for a 10 round knockout and a decision. I put money on that, and then I put money on the dude that was fighting Jack. I won tonight, but damn, I could have cleaned up, bro.
Well, you really had well, you had Zhang winning before before the fight had even started.
Yeah, yeah,
A lot of people was high on Herkovich because they say like all the heavyweights was ducking Herkovich allegedly, and then they throw him
bro.
in there with
You
Zhang.
remember? You remember, bro? Hold on, let me see. Why is Biden still giving that country more money? It's ridiculous. No wonder why Russia keeps that woman. Oh, but man, I lost my train of thought, bro. Yeah, bro, I thought Zane was gonna win. I went and watched the highlights. I don't listen to the hype. I never buy into the hype, bro. I always look into the what I watch the fight sometimes with the volume off for that reason. I don't want people to try to form my opinion. I form it for myself. But I went and looked at the two. I said, if Zane was like 33, he would have knocked what you call it out just off of sure technique. He's very good at like throwing the short shots. He's a southpaw. You notice he don't load up a lot for power. He just throws it straight, just shoot it straight from where he is.
Yes,
He
he
don't
real
he
quick
don't
with his
load up a lot.
shots.
Very crisp. But if he was younger and had better stamina, bro, he would have fucked. He would have fucked. What's the name?
Hergovich.
Djokovic. I can never pronounce the fucking Russian names, but he'd have fucked that dude up very easy. Damn, bro, I was
Bro,
disappointed, bro.
I like his inside game too. I liked how he was picking up part of his high guard. I like that.
And then you notice when he got inside, he was throwing the short shots. See, everybody at heavyweights get inside. Most of them they, but him, nope, pop, 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 and he would step off and then throw the uppercut, which is what you're supposed to do when you're fighting southpaw, and you get where southpaw fighting orthodox, getting that angle, and vice versa. It works both ways. But did you notice Anthony Joshua's adjustments?
I noticed Anthony Joshua. He was like in a crouching stance. Like his legs were more bent. He wasn't as tall as he was in the last fight. Then I saw him. He was like pressuring Usyk. He wasn't trying to box with him because in the last fight, he kind of looked like Usyk was. It kind of looked like Usyk was kind of pressuring him, but he had Usyk backing up like the entire fight, throwing that jab, working off his jab, setting up body shots. Ooh, like never mind. Never mind. I'm gonna let you.
You ain't got to mute up, bro. It's just us. You good? Ain't nobody gonna cut you off or nothing. But nah, you point what you pointed out was true. He had his knees bent. He had his gloves in front of his face to block the shots. He was very
Yes, the
relaxed.
entire
You go
fight.
back,
Yes.
yeah, you go back and look at the first fight. He was up high, jittery, falling for every feint that Usyk threw. That's what Usyk was tiring him out with, just feints. He wasn't even throwing punches. He would have his guard high, bouncing on his toes, feint, 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 getting Anthony Joshua tired. Not this fight. AJ had his knees bent. He was ready. He even throw man, like I said, how could they give this fight to Usyk? And a couple times Usyk almost stopped him. It was a part in the fight where he hurt him with a big shot and he started pressing, and a lot of people was like, and the audience was screaming because they thought he was gonna stop him.
And Usyk would start.
I saw,
He was. I'm not gonna say running, but he be doing a Keith Thurman for the whole rest of the round.
I saw how hurt Usyk was in the ninth and 10th. Yes, he started grabbing for dear life, dear life, dear life, and he doesn't even fight in the inside. I don't know if you caught that when AJ muscled him around and uppercutted him to the body. And Usyk looked to the ref. He did that several times throughout the fight. He did it so much that it was like I think round 11 or round 10, where AJ just got tired and fell in with the right hand and just threw all his weight on Usyk. Like Usyk caught him, and then he leaned on Usyk when he got to him, and Usyk looks to the referee and complains for a low blow. I'm like, this man's so used to complaining about low blows. He doing it when he ain't even get hit with a shot.
Yeah,
That shit was
crazy
wild,
man.
bro.
AJ
That
look
was an
real
exciting fight.
fundamental inside this fight, man. I like AJ now. At first, I ain't like AJ, but seeing him go against like the criticism, seeing him go against Usyk, I don't know, it kind of made me a fan.
bro, they don't like this man, and I don't know why. This like AJ's a good fight. Like even at the end of the fight, he was like he was man, he was fucking mad. I hate that he went back on what he originally thought. He threw those belts, he cussed everybody out. He should have left it with that because they robbed him tonight. The people, it's always the mice. The mice always rule the lions. They ain't taking no punches, but they get to decide the fate of somebody else in history. That's crazy to me. Damn, I didn't know you were live. I thought the fight was a lot closer. Sad for AJ, man. Man, I feel like AJ won, Eddie. Well, I don't feel like I know AJ won that fucking fight. Usyk didn't even look. If you go back and look at the first fight after the fight was over, AJ just sat in his corner from fatigue. He didn't like. He was really tired. They poured water on him. He didn't even get up to the decision until the last like second when they was about to announce it. That's how tired AJ was. But Usyk cried immediately because he knew he had won and he knew he was a champion. He didn't do that this fight. He put his flag on and try to BS the fans, but he was aware that he lost that fucking fight.
Yeah, he looked very I don't want to say guilty or like guilty timid inside the post fight press conference. Didn't look like the
Look
face
at
for
their
a winning man.
faces. Look at the
Yeah,
faces of the two individuals.
and AJ was clearly mad that because he knows that he won. I just wish he didn't go back on his like he just didn't second guess himself. If he would have left the fight with that, it'd have been a whole story about it. Like people would be talking about it, but he came back and tried to overdo himself and show like a whole bunch of respect that really didn't need to be there.
Uh, Agreed, bro. Agreed. I didn't like that either. That I was actually disappointed by that. I felt like AJ should have stuck with his original feeling that he had when he grabbed those belts. Man, that shit was like some shit from Gladiator, bro. Like, are you not entertained? That was like that type of shit, and I liked it. I hated that he went back on his word and uh, went back and tried to be a sportsman. AJ cares too much about what the public says. I can remember some years back, it was like 2017, where somebody was talking shit about AJ online, and he responded to him. He corrected him in the chat or the comment section on Facebook, and I was just like, AJ, you gonna be bad. That's one battle you don't want to enter, man. You can't beat trolls.
Too many trolls. I think that's why
Too
he.
many.
I heard Deontay Wilder mention that he went and attacked some college students because they was talking trash about him. He just,
And I went and watched his explanation of that. He basically said like he was training. See, a lot of people think AJ ain't got dog, but it's because that's the narrative that they're fed. AJ ain't got dog. AJ ain't got dog. He showed tonight he got dog. Most people would have crumbled in the rematch. He did better in this rematch than Deontay Wilder did with Fury.
that's facts. That's fact.
So so
That's
so
fact.
he got to have dog, but people don't know. Like a lot of times, man, because I be watching AJ in the exchanges, he be talking shit to his opponent, like come on, bitch, come on. I be looking at his like lips, he be cussing them out and shit. That's to me, that's dog. Somebody hit you with your best, they best shot, and you tell them like you ain't did shit. Come on, bitch. Like I mean, I don't know what that is. That's meanness to me. I mean, but yeah, AJ goes back and fights all the people that beat him, and then this should have been he should have been a 3-time champion tonight, and he should have avenged every loss that he ever had, like Lennox Lewis. I can't believe they robbed him of that. And what's so crazy is history is permanent. Like he can't he this can't be erased.
That's true. And now people are gonna be super high on Usyk, like, oh, he the best, he the best. But like you said, he looked very human inside this fight. We seen Usyk look very vulnerable, look very uncomfortable, and look very hurt against Anthony Joshua, who they was calling a bum. So is Usyk really this guy that everybody says he was? Is Anthony Joshua underrated and is Usyk really overrated, considering that he just got a robbery? And I think Usyk is kind of overrated. You know what I'm saying?
There ain't no kind of bro. You right. He's extremely overrated. For the first, see, you wasn't subscribed to me, but for the first fight, I said that I thought AJ would win. I thought he would fight like he fought today, and I thought AJ would win. And I said Usyk to me is not that good. I've been watching him for a long time, and most of his advantages that he had in the cruiserweight is that he was bigger than all the people. What's up, Pat? All the people that he was fighting. So a lot of times, he'll take a step to the right, step to the left, and he's right up on his opponent. But when you're fighting heavyweights, now you take a step and you think you're out of the danger zone and you get hit with a shot. And I knew he would struggle against heavyweights. If you go back and look at the Chisora fight, Chisora was throwing shots, but a lot of people didn't pick up on this. He would turn southpaw, so he'll throw like a right hand and then dip down and then switch his stance and then come up and trap Usyk on the ropes. That's why he gave him hell. Nah, man, nah. Usyk got his ass beat. I don't even know what the concubines numbers was, but I bet you they're not even fucking close. Like hell, nah. Usyk got his ass beat today. They robbed AJ.
Literally from pillar to post. AJ was bullying this man.
Man, it was like I said, it was like two or three times during the fight where it looked like Usyk was finna get stopped. But I felt like
And he
he
hung on
was.
for dear life. That's the only reason he didn't get knocked out because he kept on clinching him. That's the only reason he didn't. That's literally the only reason he didn't get knocked out. And every time AJ would barely glance him, it would just push Usyk like out the way and push him off balance every time.
Hap, yeah. In Mister what is that? 267, 200,000, 20,000, 67. Yeah, he go back and watch that fight and watch it with the volume off because those commentators are fucking horrible. Man, they suck. Go watch it with the volume off and judge for yourself. Most of the fight, AJ had Usyk on the ropes. That shows you that the who ring generalship is who can make who fight who's fight. So if you're fighting a fighter and you're a boxer and you want to be in the center of the ring and he keeps you on the ropes, that shows who's controlling the pace of the fight. But AJ, he definitely won it. Like I said, it was like 3 or 4 times in this fight where it looked like Usyk was going to get stopped. But yeah, Hap, I don't think neither one of them could beat Fury, man. I don't know. This is what I will say about Fury. I think Fury does not want to fight Usyk. I think Fury's had his fair share of southpaws when he had that head clash and he had trouble out of Wallen. I don't think he wants to fight southpaws anymore. But who knows, man? Who knows what mental state Fury is in? Fury's the type of guy that he has to be the underdog to rise to the occasion. That's why he doesn't have a lot of title defenses. He has to be. People have to count him out, and that's when you see the best Fury. But when he's expected to win, a lot of times you don't see him rise to the occasion. And that's what you seen when he rematched Vlad and the fight never happened. He couldn't rematch. He had already rose to the heights. He had already been the underdog and beat him. And then everybody was saying Fury would beat him again. And that's when he didn't even make the fight happen. He overtrained. AJ did better than the egg he laid in the first fight. AJ didn't do enough. Man, Happy beat his ass, man.
I think that's kind of a similarity to Larry Holmes.
Huh?
You think that's kind of like a similarity to Larry Holmes in that regard, like with Tyson Fury?
Oh, you
You
mean
know
yeah?
what, like
Larry Holmes fought. Yeah, yeah, I get you. He fought down to his competition too. That's why he struggled with people he shouldn't have struggled with. It's just some fighters that are like that. They only you can only pull the best out of them if you think they're gonna lose. I remember Paulie was talking about how AB talking about the side piece and all that stuff leading up to the fight. He said AB made fighting fun for him again because he was getting kind of relaxed and dull. You know, as far as the fight, I'm just curious to see how the boxing world is gonna take this because I don't a lot of Americans don't like British boxers and I don't know why. Like there's a rivalry between American fans and British fans and fighters and trainers too, but they don't like them. I don't know where it stems from, but they don't like them. But
I
and
will admit,
go ahead.
I'm one of those Americans that don't like British fighters. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, bro,
I,
it happens a lot. You know there was a dude named Tom Molinox. I did a report on this guy, but he was basically like a slave, bro, and he fought to get his freedom. It was like some movie type of shit. He fought to get his freedom. He was like this was like the 1800s. This was before Jack Johnson. But he fought to get his papers, and then he ended up going over to fight the British champion. And during the fight, uh, allegedly, they don't know because it's fuzzy, and the history is told by the winners. But some people allege that he got hit over the head during the fight by like a metal pipe and then they had to do a rematch, and then he was never the same after that. But yeah, man, the rivalry goes way back to those days, and it continued. I mean, it goes back to the Civil War not the Civil War, the war that they had with America, and that stuff always translates to boxing. You ever notice that every Russian fighter they're always scary to Americans?
yes, yeah. it don't matter what type of style of fighter they are either. Like they always build Russians as these feared monsters. You know what I'm saying? So just like they kind of
Larry
did.
Holmes, Larry Holmes beat both Usyk and Joshua in the same night. You're the only two guys I've heard saying a robbery. I disagree with you both. Well, shit, AJ and Usyk, that's the only people that matter. Usyk didn't feel like he won after the fight, and AJ felt like he won the fight. That's why he was being such a good sportsman until they took the fight from him. Nah, I feel like a prime Ali come back at 36 years old could beat AJ. I don't think there's anybody that could beat Muhammad Ali at heavyweight.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. To be honest, I was thinking about this recently. I honestly think a lot of people say Sugar Ray Robinson, but I think Ali's really the greatest fighter to ever, like the best fighter to ever live. Because okay, what other fighter can say that they competed in two different eras of heavyweights and he was the best heavyweight? He was the best heavyweight in two separate eras, and he fought all the best guys of both eras. So I feel like when you combine like Ali's resume, his accomplishments, and you stack them up to Sugar Ray Robinson, I think you gotta say Ali's better. Even if you don't necessarily think he's like a better fighter, I feel like accomplishments, resume, all that stuff, you gotta put Ali ahead.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think most people say Sugar Ray Robinson because the great trainers, Emmanuel Stewart. It's been passed down like common knowledge. Like they give you the fundamentals of boxing, and then they give you who's the greatest fighter of all time. And you go back and look, he was a bad motherfucker. But like you said, Ali fought everybody in their prime. Ali, where he took the sport, like I mean, Sugar Ray was Ali's idol, but I don't feel like he get. I don't feel like he's better than Ali. I think Ali took his style and took it to the next level.
I I agree, and I always wonder. I think you said I don't know if it was you. I think you said that George Foreman was like better than Sonny Liston, but you said George Foreman would still lose to Sonny Liston because he respected him too much. I think it's that type of scenario where Ali's really better than Sugar Ray Robinson, but he respect Robinson so much that he would say Robinson is better, even though
Yeah,
history wise,
yeah, yeah. You're 100% right on that. Tyson had the same style as Frazier in their primes. Mike could get him. Let me tell you something, man. Mike Tyson is a bad motherfucker. And he don't fight like Joe Frazier. I remember there's an interview where they compared him to Joe Frazier, and he got mad. He said, "But basically, people don't know what they're talking about. They see two guys the same side." He was really furious at that, and it was so funny because his voice is so small. But he was really mad at that because they don't fight alike. Like Mike Tyson bobs left to right. Joe Frazier bobs up and down, and Mike Tyson weaves. Joe Frazier bends at his back. Like he makes a lot of. He doesn't. They do. They're short and they're what you call face fighters. That's what the old school term is, face fighters. But they have completely different styles. And I think Mike Tyson would get beat by Ali only because Ali gets better down the stretch. He can think when he's tired. That's an ability that a lot of people don't talk about. But you got to be able to think down the stretch of the fight. A lot of people get tired and their fundamentals go away, their brain cuts off, and they just fight on pure instincts. Ali wasn't that type of fighter. I think Ali might get knocked down, but I think he would end up beating Mike Tyson on points. Frazier had the
do
bob cross guard. Go ahead. I'm reading the comments. You can go ahead though.
okay. I got two questions. Okay, do you think Mike Tyson could have been okay? What heavyweights do you think post 1970s could fit inside that 70s era and really be like a legitimate champion? When I say legitimate champion, I mean like a champion that either got like a good reign, a champion that's like unifying titles, or undisputed champion. What heavyweights post the 70s do
1970s.
you think could fit in that era?
1970s. You mean
Yes.
starting the career or they was already boxing?
Okay, like a lot of people say the 70s heavyweights are the best heavyweights. What heavyweight
Oh, you
champions
saying you
post
saying
70s
what
could
could?
fit? Yes.
Oh, okay, I'll get you. Oh, well, definitely Tyson. I mean, you got you you got to take all the extraordinary punches and throw them in there because I mean it's the heavyweight division and then one shot could end it all. And if they got a puncher's chance, I mean they can beat anybody. I mean I watched Luis Ortiz beat the shit out of Deontay Wilder and then get caught with a shot and it was over. You know what I mean? So you take punches like Tyson and them, you could throw them in there because they're exceptional punchers. There's been nobody like them. But like Khan just said, Holyfield, you could throw him in there because he got a good heart, you know, good chin. Riddick Bowe, definitely. Riddick Bowe, oh my God, Riddick Bowe. Those fighters from that era, that's when they had good trainers, and a lot of those fighters were fighting the inside. Riddick Bowe was extremely good, well in the inside for a big man. I think Riddick Bowe would have pieced a lot of those people up too.
Riddick
Tyson,
Bowe was the
Holyfield,
last
Lewis.
great American champion.
You think Vitaly could? Nah, Vitaly get his ass toe up in that era. I seen didn't Vitaly get stopped by Chris Bird? Small ass Chris Bird? Hell no. Nah.
Yeah, he did. He got stopped on the stool.
Yeah, I think he came out with an excuse like that. He had Vaseline on his legs and it clogged his pores or some stupid ass shit. Like, it was horrible. Yeah, I definitely don't see that happening. Razor Ruddock, yeah, Razor Ruddock could compete. He was a good puncher. The only thing about
Hey,
Razor Ruddock is his
hey, wait,
defense
for
is
real?
garbage.
You, I agree. I'm not gonna lie, his defense was trash. Cause I went back and watched the Tyson fights, and I'm like, damn, bro. Like, I went back to watch the Tyson fights, then I watched him go against like Lennox Lewis and Morrison to really see if it was like the same Razor Ruddock. But yeah, he was pretty much had the same defense, doing the same shit, but he just got caught. I don't know if his punch resistance was gone because I never understood how he could take he go all those rounds with Tyson, but get knocked out by Lennox Lewis and get knocked out by
That's what it
Morrison. I
is.
never understood.
He, I mean, you going those rounds with Tyson, it takes a lot out of you. I mean, it's Mike Tyson. It ain't like you know what I mean? He wasn't in there with Paulie Malignaggi, you know what I mean? Like, he in there with Tyson. That's going to take that might take some years off your life. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, if he was smart, he just ran away with that first fight and fought Holyfield or somebody, but because he already had the respect, he didn't have to fight Tyson twice. I just never
Vitaly
understood that.
is the only guy who could beat Fury. I'm not that high on Fury. I think if we would throw Fury into that mix that he's talking about, I think what you call it would get him. I think Ali definitely would get him. A lot of people make a big most of the arguments that you hear about Tyson Fury beating today's heavyweights is what? The height, right? But if you go back, I'm gonna post a picture on my feed and show y'all. Robert Helenius is listed 6'6", right? Deontay Wilder and him was side by side, and he was taller than Deontay Wilder. I'm like, but Deontay Wilder lists himself as 6'7". That just shows fighters. The only thing that's accurate about the telling the tape is the weight, and sometimes that's not even accurate because they do it days before or the day of, and they gain weight because they rehydrate or drink a lot of water. But that's the most accurate thing. The height you could lie about. Luis Ortiz, until he fought Deontay Wilder, had his reach listed at like 87, and they never fixed it. So a lot of times, I remember seeing Luis Ortiz like his reach don't look that long. Why? I guess it's right, but then they switched it when they actually did the measurements for the Wilder fight. They switched it because they. I was like, how does he got more reach than Wilder? That don't make any sense. But these fighters can lie. That's the moral to the story. They can lie about their height. So the one thing that people base their argument on, Ali getting beat by Tyson Fury, is the one thing that's not even accurate. The height. You can lie about it. I think well, no, jab has nothing to do with height. It's about timing. And Ali was fast, and he would beat the shit out of Tyson Fury. Those days, Tyson took fights to steam out.
I
Yep,
think after a certain height and a certain weight, I think all heavyweights kind of look around the same size. If that makes sense. I could like I
it's
could be wrong, but I think after a certain height, even though they might be like heavier, I think after a certain point, the heavyweights look about the same size. If that makes sense.
Kyle. You think Frank Sanchez could beat Fury? That's interesting. And Ortiz would give Fury a great fight. That's interesting that you said that. I don't know about that. I don't know if Frank Sanchez could beat him, but yeah, I don't think St. Francis can. I don't think he has anything for him. But Fury is the best now. But when you're talking about all time greats, I'm just not that impressed. Too. I argue with people online about this all day, and I say, well, Wilder was a bum. That's what y'all always say. Wilder's a bum. So how could you count Wilder on his resume if he fought a bum? That's his most impressive win because the Vladimir Klitschko, he was on steroids. So ultimately, you're looking at a guy, you know what I mean, who biggest win is Deontay Wilder. How could you even measure that guy as far as stature goes to Muhammad Ali? Like Muhammad Ali fought everybody in their prime. He caught some people at the tail end, you know, the Floyd Pattersons, the Archie Moores. But as far as the people that came up when he was there, the Lions, he fought them all. He was like Manny Pacquiao fighting Keith Thurman. He didn't duck nobody. Sanchez has all the tools. I like Stance's style. Yeah, Sanchez is good. He's good. I just don't think he could deal with Fury's jab. And I don't know if you noticed, but ever since Fury got with Manuel Store's nephew, Sugar Hill, he's been knocking shit out because he that style fits Fury perfect, fighting behind the jab and fighting off the jab.
That's true. He did Dillian White bad, and he made and Dillian White not a bad fighter either. He made it look easy. I still do want to see Wilder versus Dillian White. I hope Wilder doesn't end up fighting like King Kong Ortiz or anything like that. But I heard he's going the WBA route.
Man, Wilder be saying the silent parts out loud, man. You supposed to keep that shit to yourself. He basically said that Fury is gonna get sued by the WBC if he don't vacate the belts, and that he's in line to get the WBC belts, and he hopes that Usyk wins today so he can unify. I'm like, bro, somebody could just slap Wilder upside the head and
He
be like,
did
shut up,
say
bro.
that. He did.
You're not supposed to say this
Yeah.
shit. Like, shut your ass up. Like, this is supposed to be behind the scenes shit. But that might have had a lot to do with the decision tonight. Who knows, man? I know this decision tonight was political. My boy Hap said that me and you the only people saying it, but shit, Usyk didn't look like he thought he won the fight. I got a text message from Mark Nash that was like, man, because I'm pretty sure he felt like AJ won the fight. So I mean, go figure.
Bro, I feel like if he wasn't even pulling for AJ, just based off the anatomy of the fight, you gotta kind of take what we saying and take it into credibility. Like take it somewhere serious.
Bro, I don't know what it is. Like I said, you gonna notice this. You gonna notice this. Go to as you start watching boxing more. Anytime somebody from Russia, they're gonna automatically be deemed as a boogeyman. It's like when people talk in a Russian accent, Americans get scared because they think they're plotting something evil. Because all our movies, it's I mean like the they can't separate reality from hype. And anytime it's somebody from the UK, then they're not going to accept them as a champion, no matter how good they are. They're going to always be biased to them. That's just how Americans are. And tonight I was watching Sky Sports need to fire their fucking broadcasters. They were horrible. I was watching them and they said Usyk was winning the fight. I'm like, what fucking? And this is like round 9. I'm like, what fucking fight are they watching? Then the next round, Usyk get hurt. It looked like he finna go out, and they like that's crazy. And then they're screaming at the top of their lungs, and they still thought Usyk won the fight. I'm like, well, they maybe they got a different view, but that was horrible.
Couldn't do you think AJ's gonna be like mentally like kind of messed up with the fight? Because like, what does he do afterwards if he just got robbed in a rematch in a fight where people thought he would lose? Like, where does he go after this? Does he like keep fighting, or I don't think he's gonna retire, obviously, but like what would the money be for AJ?
Oh, the AJ is gonna always make. Derek Chisora still make money, bro. And the UK fans are not like American fans. They're more loyal to their fighters than American fans are. So there'll always be money for AJ. But it's just disappointing that this was a title fight. It's not some uh eliminator fight that AJ was fighting for, and it was a close fight, and then he uh he lost. This was for the title, man. Like 3 belts. You know what I mean? AJ could have won this and then go unified like we've been waiting for him to do for like 3 years. You know what I mean? Become undisputed like we've been waiting for a while. This was very disappointing. It was a great fight. I noticed that they were countering shots and not landing for Joshua. It seems that those hooks blocked by Usyk. AJ was landing counter uppercuts to the body all night off of Usyk's jab. And then a lot of times he would throw shots and he didn't throw the shots to land. He threw them to land, of course, but they missed, and he would move them to where he wanted to move them, which is to the right hand. And then he would shoot the right hand and push him back to the ropes. AJ was boxing very brilliant tonight, and he controlled the pace of the fight. That's why Usyk was on the ropes the majority of the fight. That's why I consider it a robbery. That's what ring generalship is. Who controlled the pace of the fight and made the other person fight their fight? It was AJ, no doubt, like hands down. That was horrible.
Okay, so really, when people say somebody outbox somebody, that just means that they control the pace of the fight, like the ring generalship. That's all that means. So even if you like out punching somebody and you got them against the ropes, you could still consider that as outboxing somebody. That'd be the right terminology.
Hold on, I was putting a link in the chat, but it's like Tyson. Let's take a person like Tyson, right? Tyson's never gonna get up on his toes and jab like Muhammad Ali, right? But if Tyson's fighting a fight and a majority of the fight he has you on the ropes, he's put you where he wants to put you. So that's ring generalship. Most boxers want to fight from the center of the ring. Most punchers want to come forward and put you on the ropes. So who is fighting who's fight? Judges don't even understand this shit, and they're judging fights. A lot of that shit is nepotism. They get in because of their family has a position. They don't know shit about boxing. But that shit was horrible tonight. I cannot believe that they took that from AJ. Like especially like what was on the line. Like they made this a political fight tonight. It had nothing to do with Russia and Ukraine. I don't know why that. I don't even know why that was a factor in this fight. But if that was a factor, they should have left him over in the Ukraine to fight for his country if it was going to be an issue, and just let AJ fight somebody else for the belts. It should be about who won in the ring, not a participation trophy. And that's what happened tonight. They gave him a participation trophy.
I agree, and also that kind of goes to another point. I also don't like when I also don't like when people that that run jobs and all that where like they'll okay let's say your boss found out that you cheated on your wife, right? And then he fired you for cheating on your wife. I also don't like those types of things where like the boss will actually involve your personal life into the job and then make decisions based off of that. I think that's ridiculous as well. I think that's like kind of a similar situation.
Yeah, they can't separate. They can't separate the boxing from the political shit. Like AJ was robbed, man. It's what was the punch stats numbers? I didn't even look at them. I used the eye test. ConcuBox is a dude just pressing a button, counting the shots in the
Yeah,
press box, right?
yeah, I heard Paulie
Paulie,
Malignaggi say that he
yeah,
said he playing Nintendo.
he actually named the guy, bro. He named the guy. He was beefing with that guy for years because he exposed that. That's how they come up with the numbers. That guy was beefing with Paulie for years for that. That Paulie exposing that. But yeah, man, AJ won the fight tonight, and he was robbed. You know was crazy, man. This is my prediction on Wilder. I'm gonna give you an exclusive, bro, because you pulled up today. I think Wilder's gonna knock Helenius. Well, I know Wilder's gonna knock Helenius out. But Wilder from now on is gonna have to fight. Something he never had to do. He had people because he had never been stopped. People knew it could happen. They knew he could be hurt, but they wasn't sure. But now they would get in the ring and they would worry about his right hand. Every game plan was to get away from the right hand, right hand, right hand. Now, and they would not throw certain shots. It would be certain shots that was open, and they would just leave the offense because they were so worried about his right hand. But now Fury hurt Wilder, beat him up, exposed him twice. So now people are going to throw shots that they wouldn't normally throw. I think Wilder's going to knock Helenius out, and I think he's going to retire because I don't think he has a stomach. I don't think he wants to come back to boxing. I feel like the fans want him to come back, his fans, and then the people that built the statue. Because he even said it. He said, "I don't need boxing, but I got so many people depending on me." Yeah, so you don't really want to be in the ring, and this is the wrong sport to be in the ring and second guess yourself because you have to have resilience. When Ortiz was beating his ass, he showed resilience and then landed the right hand. But if you ain't got, if you ain't got that resilience in you, and people are throwing shots, it's gonna be hard to dig down deep like he needs to dig down. So I think Walter's gonna knock Kalanius out and then retire because he don't have the stomach for the sport.
Damn, I'm not. Damn, I'm not. I agree with you. I agree with you because even inside those interviews, he doesn't. They was asking like, what are you excited to do? Are you looking to unify? Do you want to be a two-time champion? He just didn't. He didn't sound as enthusiastic as he did, like, for instance, when he was like talking about rematching Tyson Fury. It's just like the enthusiasm isn't there, and I think it's a situation where you can only dig down deep so many times, and I think those fear fights might have just took that out of him. I don't think he want to go. I don't think he wants to be put in a situation like that. Again, where he's forced to dig down deep. If you know he get if he's forced into a fight, because like you said, people have seen that he could get hurt when they throw certain shots. They takes his eyes off his opponents in certain situations. So I think he'll knock out Helenius, but I don't see him being over here any longer. I hate to say it. I personally want to see Wilder come back, but if you ain't got the stomach for it, there's no point.
He said AJ didn't say he won the fight. He ain't had to say shit. Him get grabbing those belts and throwing them at the end of the fight showed us everything we needed to know. Who he didn't get that mad in the first fight, and he said he thought he won that fight. You remember afterwards he said he thought he was boxing good like Muhammad Ali. He didn't act like that in the first fight. He knew he won this fight. You see, fighter, he gonna go back and look at this fight and be angry as shit when he sees how well he done and the fight was still taken from him. See, the fighters are going round and round, so they have a different point of view. They're judging their how they thought they won the fight off the exchanges, who got the better of the exchange. A lot of times I've seen fighters where they thought they lost the fight and they really won because they felt like they didn't win the last exchange that happened in the end of the round. Like Rampage Jackson when he fought Machida. Machida did lost the fight, and Rampage Jackson thought he lost the fight at the end. He even put his head down because it Machida would flurry at the end of the rounds. But AJ won that fight, man. AJ's too soft, bro. See, I tell you, Hap, I was just talking about how Americans do not like British fighters. What's soft about him? He took a lot of punishment tonight, and he dished it out, man. Like AJ was talking shit. He was telling Usyk, "Come on, hit me, hit me, hit me." How is that soft? I don't get it. But he used he doesn't press when he should, didn't use his weight till the last round a little. Man, he used his weight the whole entire fight, man. He used his weight the entire fight. He was putting it behind his punches to the body. I like British fighters. I don't know, Hap. I think you got that American bias, bro. Most of you there, goaded?
Oh no, no. I thought you were still talking. Okay, okay.
No.
Well, what I was gonna say. So then you really, I ain't gonna lie. So how would you describe Deontay Wilder's style? Because I find it interesting when you said now he's gonna be forced to fight, which is to say he probably never had to fight anybody before. He was just like,
Shame to.
I guess outboxing him, but he can't box. So,
Oh,
well,
you mean Usyk?
people say he can't box. No, I mean Wilder,
Nah,
because
wild. That his mama did it best. He's wild. He the Malik Scott version of him was the best version I've seen because
wait, really?
he yes, because he actually had an end goal. He just wasn't right hand, right hand, right hand. Everything right hand, right hand. When in doubt, throw the right hand, right hand, right hand. Look at the referee, throw the right hand. Like everything was right hand. But when they got with Malik Scott, he actually focused on the body to try to set up the right hand. Like I've seen times, like in the Arthur Spilker fight, they came up with a good game plan to knock out Arthur Spilker, but he abandoned it, and that's why Arthur Spilker went all those rounds with Deontay Wilder. Then he went to the game plan and knocks him out. Like he should have did that from the beginning. Wilder's style is look for the bomb. Yes, agreed. Wilder beats anyone not named Fury. I could agree with that. I don't think Hap Wilder has the stomach for the sport anymore. Mike Tyson had power. Mike Tyson has power to this day at 56. But Mike Tyson in his last couple fights lost to bums, and he lost to those bums because he didn't have to dig deep. Because when you're in there with live opposition, they're not just gonna roll over because you're Mike Tyson. They might be shy about their offense, but they're still gonna be live opposition, and they're gonna show resistance depending on who you fight. And I just don't think that Wilder has it at this point. I think he's like Mike at the end of his career.
Damn. Do you think? Okay, would you say Wilder is kind of like the opposite of Anthony Joshua, where Anthony Joshua, like you had mentioned, is very coachable, but Deontay Wilder could be possibly a very disagreeable person or a very hard headed fighter.
Yeah, man, bro. I had a video on YouTube a while back, bro, and it was probably the most work I've ever put into a break. That was like an hour, bro. And I went searching for Joe Rogan clips, et cetera, et cetera. I worked really hard, and fucking YouTube took that bitch down, bro. I was so, cause I didn't have any copies, bro. But in there, I had a clip of Water saying he doesn't listen to his trainers because he rather listen to himself and be wrong, and then listen to them and get knocked out. So I think AJ's the opposite, like what you said. AJ's gonna follow the game plan to the T, as you see tonight. AJ, a lot of people say he looked robotic, but that's because he's doing what he practiced to do. What he practiced to do, he's gonna go implement in the fight. And a lot of fighters don't even have that's mental toughness there to stay disciplined to a game plan.
It's a good quality because I think a lot of people said that once Wilder, well, Wilder, he kind of, I don't know if you thought this as well, but a lot of people always thought that Wilder went away from the game plan during the Tyson Fury fight and tried to go back to right hand, and I was like, dang, Wilder really can't just be throwing right hands. So I went back to go watch some of his older fights, and I'm not gonna lie, there really is like the majority of what he does. He throws a jab, doesn't even use the jab to score. He just throws it to really set up a right hand. And yeah,
Yeah, Wilder has a trick, bro. He lunges at you, he'll get an angle, get you relaxed, and then he lunges at you, pulls your guard down, and lands the right hand. That's his trick to landing the right hand. And I don't in the Fury fight, he abandoned it. But I made a video about that. He abandoned it because he had to. Look at those little bitty ass leg Water. Water went in that fight the heaviest that he's ever been in his entire career, the heaviest. And then so he's carrying that weight. Now he has to carry Fury's weight on top of that weight. And Fury came in heavier for that fight, and he's throwing those body shots. See, you got to have a lot of times. Uh, Big punchers have big tree trunks as legs. Tyson, Holyfield, uh, Joe Frazier, really good body punchers. They have really good big lower bodies because that's going to absorb the blow. There's going to be blowback for body shots on the receiving side and the side that's dished it out. You have to have legs to absorb. Water has those chicken legs, and he was getting tired. Shit, he was going to the body like this trainer told him to do, throwing the straight shots, but he was just fatiguing. And that's what happens when you have don't have when you have little legs and you're carrying the weight of your opponent and yourself, and he fatigued. So that's why he went to his right hand. Because when in doubt, throw the right hand. It's got him out of situations before.
that right hand is crazy, man. I don't know. I just think that I don't know if you agree that, but Wilder's kind of like almost like I don't want to say a wasted talent because he still did become a champion. Still did get the 10 title defenses. Still was part of a great trilogy, but it's like, dang, he ain't really. I don't know. Okay, it's like he ain't really reached what he could like do. You know what I'm saying? Like he like
Oh,
he got
Wilder.
a lot of talent. He got the fast hands. He got fast hands. That's underrated speed. He got the power. He got the length, the height. It's like, dang,
Yeah,
yeah.
Water's a one trick pony, man. And it's just as simple as that. Like, he puts so much into his right hand that I mean, the jab is not hard because he probes with the jab, pulls your guard down to land the right hand. So he can't really have an effective jab because he puts everything into the right hand. But I don't feel like, well, I feel like Wilder gets the most out of what because he's virtually a one-handed fighter that achieved what he achieved. So I think Wilder's an overachiever for what, because like people are going to be comparing Wilder to Mike Tyson. I mean, given the fact that he don't have a lot of skills and they're comparing him to a prime Mike Tyson, that's pretty. He's an
You're
overachiever.
right. You're
Wilder
right.
Wilder can box. He just not sophisticated style because he never had to. He won every round against Stavern, who was a decent fighter. But Stavern never cut the ring off in that fight. I went back and watched that fight. Tyson lost to Buns because he wasn't training and found drugs. I mean, he was doing that in his prime and still was knocking motherfuckers out. Tyson was not Tyson anymore by the end of the Douglas fight. Everything past that was a shell of himself. His whole team that made him who he was taken out the picture and were yes men replaced. I disagree with that. I think Mike Tyson. I argue with fans about this all the time about Tyson. Matter of fact, the next live I do, I'm gonna do it. Was Tyson overrated? I want to hear everybody's thoughts on this. But
That's gonna be
I
clean.
argue with fans about this all the time about Tyson's team, and I tell them that Kevin Rooney was overrated as a trainer. Kevin Rooney was initially a fighter. He wasn't even supposed. Teddy Atlas was training Kevin Rooney. He was never supposed to be that. But when Teddy Atlas got into it with Mike Tyson, Customato started sneaking Mike Tyson back into the gym, and he was too old to hold pads for him. So he got Kevin Rooney to do that. And that's where Kevin Rooney kind of became Mike Tyson's trainer, but he kind of stole his job. But Kevin Rooney was still fighting. There's clips of him getting knocked out by Alexis Arguello online. Kevin
I
Rooney,
see.
and
I
I
see.
think I argue this a lot with people, and I tell them that if Kevin Rooney was as great a trainer as they say he was, he would have had champions after Mike. Look at Emmanuel Stewart, and all these great trainers always get champions after they fall out with a fighter. He's the only one that Tyson was like one and done. He never achieved that status again. He was never like at that elite level as far as training a fighter. And he had the Mike Tyson bump. A lot of people knew who he was because of Mike Tyson, but he never had a champion again. That says a lot. Kevin Rooney's overrated as a trainer. I think there's a clip I have of Carl the Truth Williams in the fight with Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson talked about how he looked at Carl Williams throw his jab, and he would throw the uppercut, but he would dip the uppercut down when he threw it. So Mike Tyson let him hit him with the jab. Now this is smart boxing. He took the jab and then came up with the left hook and knocked him out. That didn't have anything to do with his corner. I think Kevin Rooney gets a lot of credit for Mike Tyson's. Like, think about it. I could train Mike Tyson. You got a person who's very disciplined, hard worker, good style, peekaboo style, and power in both hands. Deeply goaded, you could be his trainer. And he could still be the world champion.
Because he has so much talent already. Bro, what was I for the okay? Do you think this a debate I constantly see because on the other end they got people that say Mike Tyson's overrated and they say that he fought nothing but old fighters. I always had this argument that okay, a lot of people say that Larry Holmes in his prime would beat Mike Tyson in his prime, but I always thought Tyson would beat Larry Holmes regardless of the time that they would have matched. They would have matched up because I think Tyson was really the like easily the best fighter in the 1980s. He was the only fighter to unify during that era. He was the only fighter to unify during that era. I don't think no other champion during that time unified at all.
Bro, I ain't gonna answer, bro. I'm gonna save it for the Mike Tyson I love because I got an answer for that. It's a kill shot, bro. It's basically building off of what you said. Like, how could you call somebody undisputed? He's undisputed champion of the world, overrated. That would be like me right now saying Devin Haney's overrated. He ain't really fought nobody, but he's undisputed. What does undisputed mean? It means you can't dispute it. Shut the fuck up. That's the conversation ended.
Exactly. And me not even being a Devin Haney fan, I would still say that Devin Haney's like the king of the lightweights at this point because he has all the belts. He did what he was supposed to do. And speaking about Devin Haney, well, we're speaking about those lightweights in general. Do you think that do you think that Teofimo Lopez is better, or do you think Teofimo Lopez carries his trainer? Because I think Teofimo is like a real smart fighter. I mean, I seen him like, I seen a video with Tim Witherspoon and stuff like learning from Lomachenko and all that, learning from Tim Witherspoon. He says he doesn't watch film, but he's mentioned numerous on numerous occasions watching like old film like Roberto Duran, Floyd Mayweather, and Corrales and all that. So I don't know if Teofimo is a real smart fighter or Teofimo Lopez Sr. just an underrated trainer or a combination of the two.
Yeah, you got to have some level of intelligence sometimes to be in the ring because a lot of fighters make adjustments and they don't even know they made them. They do them instinctively. A lot of fighters do that. They can't tell you what they did, but they just do it. That's a part of the sport of boxing. But I think To's. Well, I don't think To's carrying the shit out of his trainers. His trainer is overrated, and he needs to get better help if he's gonna survive. With the elite of the elite, he can't continue to have the corner that he has. That corner is fucking garbage. I mean, look at the Cambosis fight alone. They don't tell him like stop coming forward with your jab. He's catching you with the right hand over the top. They tell him, "Oh, you slipped. Get back in there and knock this guy." I'm like, what kind of instruction? That is horrible. Most of To and see that goes back to the Kevin Rooney argument. A lot of these trainers are only known for the fighter, and it's because of what God sent the fighter to Earth as a talented human being. A lot of these trainers ain't even that good. Like, I mean, Jay Diaz, Wilder's trainer. You know what I mean? Like garbage.
That's facts. That's exactly why I brought it up. Like, okay, and I always wanted to know, like, do you think that certain fighters that can honestly survive without trainers? Like, I don't, I could be wrong about this, but like Roy Jones Jr., he kind of switched from trainer to trainer, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he never really stuck with one guy. Like, do you think he just had like there's fighters with so much talent that they don't really need trainers? They just need like basics or whatever.
Bro, you always need a trainer. You always need a trainer. I watch goddamn Nonito Donaire get his ass toe up because he had his wife in the corner. And I knew then. I'm like, this motherfucker. He trying to cut corners because you got to pay your manager and your trainers. Like, I think trainers take 10%, managers take 33 and a third. I think he was trying to save money by just paying his wife. She probably his manager and his trainer. But he got his ass toe up, and his wife couldn't tell him the adjustments to make. You need trainers for motivation and to tell you to be a good set of eyes. You can't have an amateur in there that don't know how to really break down the fight. I'd be looking, bro. I don't look at people's breakdowns on YouTube until I do mine because I don't want them to sway me to see something or think a certain way. Me second guess myself. I like to, that's why I watch fights with the volume down. But I looked at people's breakdowns of this Anthony Joshua fight. Nobody. Like, I didn't see nobody's breakdown come even close, bro. Like, it wasn't even like the fight happened exactly like I said it was gonna happen, all the way down to Usyk complaining to the ref. And people still be comparing me, bro. Like, in the comment section, like, yeah, man, this is a good channel, but you should go check out. Man, don't compare me to other people, bro. I've actually been in the ring before. I read a lot of books, Customato, Cornerman with what's his name? Angelo Dundee, Eddie Foote. Like, I put in my fucking 10,000 hours to boxing. I don't like being compared to people.
I agree. I agree. And then I'm not gonna lie. Ever since I found the channel, like going a lot of places, a lot of boxing channels just not the same. I just can't really enjoy it because there'll be guys saying like basic things or obvious things that anybody could see. Like, oh, he's hurt. Oh, he caught him with a jab. Like just he caught him with a right hand. Just very surface level things that anybody could point out. That's why I find it interesting. I seen you on Polly's channel. I think Polly is great. Outside the ring when it comes to commentating and stuff. I think he's real great at that. I don't know. He can really break down fights really well.
Yeah, Paulie is. I think him and Teddy Atlas, to me, Teddy Atlas, and I think Roy Jones is close to them, but they still like is elite as far as breaking down the fight, their predictions, their way of simulating a fight in the head, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I don't think nobody comes close to them. But yeah, Paulie's good. He's a good one. Paulie's good. I disagree with. That's why I say I don't even watch Paulie or Teddy's breakdowns until I do mine, because I don't want them to, like, I look at them as like great minds, so I might second guess myself, and I don't want to do that. So I always look at my Paulie's one of the best minds in the sport. He didn't even break down the fight like how I broke the fight down.
I agree. I agree. It's crazy. It's crazy because you really be predicting the fights and they play out like exactly how you said it. I don't understand how you see that. I don't understand how you can predict those types of things. But I guess that's what happens when you like really study the film and you know what you just know what you're looking for.
Yeah, you start watching film, bro. You'll get to a point. It was a point where Customato wouldn't even like train his fighters, bro. Teddy Atlas would be at the gym. This is crazy, bro. This is how smart he was. I think he's the best boxing mind ever. But Teddy Atlas would go to the gym, right? And he would say, "Oh, Cuss, he's keep getting hit with this shot." And Cuss would be like, "Oh, it's because he's doing this. Tell him stop doing this." Teddy Atlas would go tell him to stop doing it, and he wouldn't get hit with that shot anymore. Like, he didn't even have to be. He had seen it all. Once you start watching a lot of old school film, ain't nothing new gonna happen under the sun. You'll start to understand every style, every tendency, every this, every that. Foreman did not have a corner. What you mean? George Foreman had Angelo Dundee, and before that he had Archie Moore. But yeah, I don't know what's wrong. Fighters need a corner. You see Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather thought he could just do good with Roger Mayweather his whole career until he fought Cotto and got busted up. He had to go back to his dad because his dad was the better trainer. You need great trainers. because great trainers gonna tell you stuff and know stuff that other people ain't gonna know. Their IQ is higher. Like Floyd didn't. He was a workaholic. His daddy made him work less because he was an older fighter. You can't be putting that stress on your body. A lot of trainers wouldn't have known that, but guess who knew it? Floyd Senior knew that.
Hey, speaking of Floyd, do you okay? Honestly, okay, I'm not of the Floyd era, so I'm my era, of course, is like Devin Haney, Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. Do you think the current welterweights of this era could have competed with the welterweights of Floyd's era? Or do you think Floyd's era at welterweights was just like way better, way superior? Cause, cause I can lie, I be getting into debates with guys like from the Floyd era versus fighters of this era. Cause this era, my era. So of course I want to rep the guys of my era and big them up, I guess.
Nah, they could compete. It ain't the Floyd's era is just not crazy. I mean, it was good. It wasn't crazy. It wasn't like fucking Hagler, Hearns, Durant. Hagler, Hearns, Durant, and all them weight division was so stacked, bro, that Wilfred Benitez is not even mentioned, and he was fucking cold and the youngest champion ever to do it. That's how cold that era was. Hold on, bro. I'm finna try something. It might end the live. I don't think it will, but you might not hear me for a little bit. Hold on.
All right, bet.
All right, I'm back. Yeah, man. Yeah, bro. I be watching people's channel, bro. I be face palming. Custom Auto used to do that. And Teddy Atlas said he used to do that. He used to listen to people and he used to cut that volume down. I'm like, they don't know what the hell they talking about. I be doing that on other people's lives. The way you see if somebody that really know boxing, bro, is you watch them on their lives. And like you said, if they point out the obvious, always do the right hand, always doing this. They either do that or they go to the extreme, right? Where they be like, oh, he got his foot at a 45-degree angle, and if he point, he just be like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's boxing, like. They not fighting with their feet. What are you talking about? Like, yeah, angles are important, but that ain't the only thing. I see them focus on that shit, and they don't even be breaking down how the fight's playing out, the pace of it. Is the guy taking punishment with body shots? Is he trying to set something up? Because they can't call what they don't know. A lot of YouTubers are new to the sport. They didn't study the history. They don't study the teachers of the sports, and it shows.
Yeah, because I'm not once I watched the Tiafimo Lopez breakdown you did, and you had mentioned that Camp had a problem. He would lean over to the right side, which made him open. This could be wrong. He would lean over to the right side, which made him open for the left hook. I didn't even know that was a thing. And then, as soon as I watched the fight, he gets caught with the left hook. Right, he gets caught with the left hook. Basically, I think he got dropped from that punch. But I didn't even know that was like a thing. But that's also something that you wouldn't even know unless you like really got in the ring. Which is also another factor. I don't know. It's a lot of ways to get boxing out.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people don't know that shit. Like you lay on your right side. I don't know if you know the Beast, James the Beast Wilson.
It's my first time hearing about him.
You there? I can't hear you.
I said it's my first time hearing about James.
He was a guy from the internet. He had a big beard. He fought tonight. He fought the guy who was moving up. I can't even pronounce his name. It started with a T. It's like Tabay, to something like that. But he fought that guy. It was a fill-in fight, and he lays on his right, and he got his ass tore up tonight. He actually ended up quitting, which I knew was going to happen. You know, he's a YouTube favorite. A lot of people like him, but I don't. I personally think he's overrated, and it showed. He quit on the store tonight. He had a trainer on there in his corner. I mean, named Mustafa Boxing. I follow his channel on YouTube. I think he's a student of the game. Like he's up and coming. You know, he's still learning on the job, which is crazy. Emmanuel Stewart had been in the game, all those years and still was learning on the job. He said he learned with Tommy Hearns about weight gain. He said with taller fighters, you got to let their body fill out instead of dropping so much weight and being overtrained. because he said he trained Tommy Hearns 5 weeks for the fight with Sugar Ray. So he said with taller fighters, ever since then he never did that. He would have a shorter camp sometimes, or he would just if he had a camp, he wouldn't overtrain them. He learned from his mistakes, which is unfortunate that you got to be the guy in the corner to. Tommy Hearns had to be the guy that he learned the mistake off of.
That's crazy. I heard a lot of people say that Tommy Hearns was like his experiment, and then his training methods was perfected by the time he got to Lennox Lewis.
No, I wouldn't say Tommy was an experiment. You always learn something new in boxing. Angelo Dundee was like 99, still saying he learned something in the sport. But like, he knew boxing. That Crunk gym had a whole bunch of good trainers, bro. Like, that shit was stacked. Like, Bill Miller, like it had a whole bunch of people. Like, that's so crazy that like the legacy of Crunk to see what it is today. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's trash today, bro. Like that they talk about like great fights. You could go to Crunk and see some good ass sparring. They got that shit on YouTube. Gerald McCullen and those guys. Like, Crunk used to be the shit,
Oh,
bro.
I watched that Gerald McCullen versus James Tony fight. That was a good sport. That kind of it kind of leads me to my question. I heard some people say that no, I was watching a video that somebody said that Roy ducked. They said Roy ducked Michael Nunn and Gerald McClellan and Nigel Benn and all these guys. Bro, or if you go back at that time, I think Roy Jones was at super middleweight. During the time Gerald McClellan was like a champion at middleweight, and Gerald McClellan technically, if he would have got past Nigel Benn, he probably would have ended up fighting a James Toney or Roy Jones Jr. But that those circumstances happen. Even though he technically knocked out Nigel Benn, but that British boxing, the Americans hate. He technically knocked him out in the ring.
Yeah, bro. I don't think Roy Jones ducked. I can't see Roy Jones ducking anybody. I think Roy Jones was about that money, and if it made money sense, he would do it. Like, a lot of people thought he ducked Tarver, but he felt like he should get a bigger split because he beat Tarver before. Why would he fight somebody? Why would he be scared to fight somebody he already beat? It didn't make any sense, especially at that time. He was basically undefeated besides that controversial loss he had with Montel. Like, nah, Roy, I can't see Roy ducking anybody. He moved up to heavyweight. Like, you know what I mean? Nah, he ain't ducking. Roy not ducking no smoke. It had to make financial sense for him. Because, I mean, a lot of people could say he ducked Tyson because he was supposed to fight Mike Tyson and Jay Prince. I don't know if you know what that is. Jay Prince scheduled a fight for them to happen, but he said he could only get him 17 million, and Roy Jones wanted 25 million. So the fight never happened. I mean, that's just the business of boxing. That's how stuff goes.
I'm not gonna lie, that would have been a big fight. I wonder if the outcome would have been similar to the exhibition we saw. And yeah, that's the video I was talking about. But I think it was Bernard Hopkins because Bernard Hopkins wanted a rematch. I think coming off the De La Hoya win, he wanted like a bigger split from Roy Jones Jr. After Roy Jones Jr. had already beat him and was undefeated, and multi-divisional champion. I'm not gonna lie, I think Roy Jones Jr. is like I think Roy Jones Jr. is like the top of the pound for pounds of like all time. They could be like a casual statement, but I think Roy is like a 5 division champion. You got like Roy Jones Jr. up there. You got Roberto Duran, Hearns, Pacquiao. With that all time pound for pound list, like top five.
Man, when Roy was first coming up in the game, uh, he was supposed to fight Tommy Hearns. I think Tommy Hearns is better than him all the time. I think if they ever fought, like prime for prime, like I think Roy would have got his ass knocked out because Tommy could match him in speed, and then he was just so tall. I don't think Roy would do any, I don't think Roy could do anything with that jab. That drag gave Sugar Ray Leonard problems. And Sugar Ray Leonard was fast as shit. I think Roy is good as far as talent goes. You know what I mean? I think he's great as far as talent goes. I don't put him that high. I don't put him that high because his defense lacked, and he was like I said, he took the big money fights. Like, he didn't have a lot of dance partners to where I could be like, even when he fought James Tony was dehydrated in that fight. Like I think in the pre-fight they showed he lost like 40 pounds before the fight, 20, something ridiculous. But and it showed James Tony didn't let his hands go. James Tony before that had like one of the records for most punches thrown in a round. It was like 1,000 and something. Not 1,000. Let me stop. He had the most punches thrown in the fight. It's like 1,000 or something. Not a round. Let me take that back before I get spammed with fucking trolls.
Really? Dang. I mean, you don't think he could have beat like Sugar Ray Leonard at middleweight or Roberto Duran at middleweight? Because both of those guys were around that weight at that time. And who else? You don't think he could have beaten? You don't think he would have
Yeah,
beat? I
he
can't really
probably
think of
he probably
another. Yeah.
he probably could have beat them, but I had this argument with somebody the other day, and I was just telling them, pound for pound, you can rank higher than somebody pound for pound, and they be able to beat you in a fight because weight matters. I mean, we just seen in the Usyk fight. Usyk has better footwork, but I mean, AJ's just a big man. It's hard. Like skills cut off at some point. So like, I mean, I told him this. I said Floyd Mayweather went up to 154 and fought Canelo. I think they fought at 54. But I was like, if he beat Canelo, right? They were like, yeah. I was like, if Canelo would have went up to lightweight and fought Sergey Kovalev and he lost, who would you say was better pound for pound? Floyd, right? They were like, no, because he lost it. Now I'm like, well, y'all are crazy then. There's no point. If that's the case, we need to take away the pound for pound list. Only put uh only put heavyweights on there because heavyweights reign supreme. Nobody could beat a heavyweight. I mean, let me stop. These other weight classes can't beat heavyweight. So let's just make it, let's stop the pound for pound list, only put heavyweights on the pound for pound list, if by that logic. But you wouldn't do that, right? Bud is number one pound for pound because of skills. But Bud's skills can't go up and beat a heavyweight. I mean, that's how we gauge this pound for pound shit. So we got to be consistent with it. Like, I think Sugar Ray is naturally smaller than Roy. So if he moved up, I think Roy would beat his ass. But I still think he's better pound for pound as far as his defense and what skill set God sent him to earth to have.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. What about okay? I'm not going. Okay. Fantasy fight. It's a fighter that really don't get mentioned a lot. Despite being like an undisputed welterweight champion. Around that same time as like Floyd, Trinidad, and all those guys. Corey Spinks versus Floyd Mayweather at welterweight. Corey Spinks beat Zab Judah. Zab Judah came back, got him in a rematch in the hometown. But I think Corey Spinks was a very good boxer. He didn't have power, but very good defense. Very good boxer in his own words. So he think will win inside that fight.
Yeah, I think Floyd will beat him. I think Floyd is difficult. See, a lot of people. What is the first thing they say when they Floyd Mayweather? Shoulder roll, shoulder roll, shoulder roll. They don't even know, man. Floyd Mayweather, James Tony gets mad when people talk about Floyd Mayweather using the shoulder roll because he doesn't sit in the pocket and make the shots miss and counter. Floyd Mayweather does that sometimes, but the majority of the time he uses his feet. So he like I think Andre Ward mentioned it in the TL fight. He said a lot of these young fighters look at Floyd doing the shoulder roll, but they don't know that Floyd was in control of the fight when he started using the shoulder roll. That's because Andre Ward sees the same thing that I see. But a lot of these people, new to boxing, they don't notice things like this. But Floyd Mayweather had really good legs. You know what I mean? And he controlled the pace of the fight with his legs. And I think that he was just difficult for anybody. I think he would have Corey had good defense, but I think Floyd would have Pretty Boy Floyd at that time would have pieced him up.
Okay, so all time. Okay, all time. Okay, man. I'm trying to find somebody that could that you could see like actually beating Floyd. That's not like like not like not like somebody like Tom. I heard a lot of people say that Tommy Hearns would
Tommy Hearns, yeah,
decapitate
Tommy
Floyd.
Hearns would have beat the shit
Yeah,
out of Floyd.
but that's
He'd
like
knock Floyd
somebody that's
out.
yeah, exactly. Cause I think I don't know if I heard it from you, but like I heard like counterpunchers have a lot of problems with guys that have like really good jabs. Or Floyd had problems with guys with really good jabs, and like you said, Tommy
Hmm.
Hearns had hell of a jab. So
And it's the height. It's
yeah.
counter punchers struggle with height because the guy ain't there to land the counter shot to. So if you just put that jab on Floyd, Floyd had problems with what's his name, the Paul brothers because of his height. Tommy
I was
Hearns
just
was
gonna say,
almost the same height as the Paul brothers, but he had speed and he actually could box. He was a real boxer. Tommy Hearns would knock Floyd ass out, man. He'd have peppered his ass with that jab, and then that right hand would have came, and Floyd would have been asleep. Floyd lucky he was born in the time he was born.
it's crazy. See, okay,
Yeah, hey,
okay.
what you finna do, bro? I finna end this live and start the Mike Tyson one.
Wait, for real?
You want to stay on? Yeah, you want to stay
That
on?
Oh yeah,
Hold on,
for sure. I stay on. Yeah.
hold on.